Here we go, great sailboats for a tiny budget, part 2. It is here, part 2. ChronicSailor back with another video, and we are going to take a look at some boats that have a designated place for the outboard to go. Remember, ChronicSailor says, fiberglass is almost always timeless. And an outboard, you can switch them out. The two major things to have a boat be seaworthy ongoing are those two things. However, disclaimer, some of these boats have keel bolts, and if they are all rusted out and have not been addressed, that could be an issue. All these boats, we are assuming the rigging and keel bolts are fine. If not, you just move on and find another boat. There's a ton of them out there. Okay, here we have the Columbia 22. Love that boat. Let's take another look at the Columbia 22. This boat was built with heavy fiberglass. I want you to take a look at the inside. There's quite a bit of room in there for a 22-foot boat. In fact, I think it has the most room of any 22-foot boat. And the fiberglass is so very thick. Look at that interior there. They come with different models. Mine had just 2 benches straight across. It's the biggest 22-foot boat you'll ever find. This is a Catalina 22, the opposite of big. It's a great, iconic boat, but I am advising never get the swing keel because they are lead swing keels, not a dagger board. Look at this family, all in a Catalina 22, very small. Now looking at the Columbia 26. They made a great movie about this boat. 2 guys sailed to Hawaii. This boat has an outboard well, so your outboard will never be coming out of the water. I love this boat. And please remember, these are all older boats. Spend the money for a survey. Always get a survey. But there are a lot of boats that have been taken care of. Grab one of those. And always remember, most of these boats up until now and until we get to the end are all coastal cruisers. And the people that took them farther beefed the boats up. And always make sure your through holes are good. I absolutely love the Pearson design. It actually has quite a bit of room up front. And on the West Coast, you can find them pretty frequently. All right, the Catalina 27. Now that probably is the most iconic boat of all time. They come in a lot of different flavors and sizes. Some have a dinette model, some have just benches. Doesn't matter. Catalina is a good boat. One has even sailed around the world, but of course it was beefed right up. This would not be a boat I would choose to take offshore, but regardless, with that outboard cut out there, it is a fantastic boat to own that will give you sailing pleasures for a long time and will definitely not break the bank. Another look at the interior. You can see they had several different models. Catalina 27, it is just a fantastic boat. Okay, that is the bench model. That's the only Catalina 20. I've owned 3 Catalina 27s, and they were all the bench model. I didn't care for the dinette model. Yeah, look at that. That actually looks a lot like my last Catalina. Now we get to the Hunter 23. Hunters are pretty big on the East Coast, not quite as big on the West Coast, but it's still a well-known boat. I owned this boat for several years, took it to Catalina, down to San Diego, cruised all over the West Coast with it. Great boat, fun boat. The good thing I like about the Hunter 23 is the ballast is glassed in. as a centerboard instead of a big iron keel dropping down when you put the keel down. Now this right here, I believe is a Cal 227, but you see how it has the cutout for the outboard model? Brilliant design. It's not taking up space inside the cockpit, and you can go anywhere with that. I just think this is a very well thought out boat, and not having inboard saves on mechanics. You can get a newer outboard that will not break down on you frequently. It's just a real affordable way to almost get a new boat. Get a newer outboard on an older fiberglass boat. Alright, so these are the parameters. When I did this search, lowest price was $900, highest price was $15,000. So all these boats are in that range. Everything I just showed you is on the low range. The Catalina 25. Now that's another fantastic boat. If you were on the ocean, I'd go for the Catalina 27 over the 25. But with that said, I owned a Catalina 25. Again, took her around Catalina down to San Diego, performed fantastic. I just think it's going to be about the same price as the Catalina 27, and the Catalina 27 is going to be a lot heavier. So if you're getting a blow, you've got a heavier boat in the ocean for lakes, I think you'd be okay with the other. Now, the Coronado 27 is not a boat I would buy because I don't like the way she looks. I put this up there because it says 1/4 share, a partnership in a boat. Do not do that. You will never get your money back out. It's just not a good idea. Find a boat that you can afford on your own. Unless it's family, I just would stay away from all partnerships. Now, so far, I've owned every boat on this list. This is a Ranger 26. I have never owned one of these, but I still think it's a good boat because it has the cutout for the outboard well. And I am a firm believer in an outboard, especially if it has a place designed for it when it's not hanging off the transom. Ranger 26, worth looking at. Here's another look at the Catalina 27. Again, probably one of the most iconic boats of all times. I just want to show you, $9,000, I think that's way overpriced. Unless it's totally redone, $9,000 is too much for a Catalina 27. Look at that interior. That is the interior is old. You don't pay that much money for a Catalina 27. You can find good deals. Again, the Ranger. Oh no, this is the Erickson Independence. I forgot about this boat. I like that boat. A Pacific Seacraft Mariah. I remember looking at these when they were $90,000. It's an older boat. You've got an inboard. You've got rust. That's why I like the outboard, people. But if you can find a Pacific Seacraft Mariah for $9,000, yeah, I would get that depending on what shape she's in. But yes, these fiberglass boats stay good for a while, and they're coming down in price. Now this is another outboard cutout. I only put that in there to show you what an outboard cutout looks like. I think that's a Columbia 24. Oh, Pacific Seacraft 25 cutter. This is an offshore boat for $10,000. If you can grab a Pacific Seacraft, grab one. They're an offshore boat company. Oh, Catalina 30. Probably the most iconic boat of all time besides the Catalina 27. Catalina 30s are still selling for $25,000. They are a gigantic interior boat. All right, Ranger 26. Never owned one of these, but I just wanted to show you that cutout in the back. Kind of like the Pearson 26, really. It looks very similar to the Pearson. The Ranger 26 and the Pearson 26 looks almost the same. But got that cutout for the outboard. I love that. Another Catalina 27. I just want to show you that one's $4,500. Newport 28. This boat is gigantic inside. The benefit on that is you get a large boat with a cheaper monthly slip. Newport 28. I've owned one, and my hat's off to that boat. The West Sail 32 is one of my favorite boats of all times, but I would not buy one because it has a 4-foot bowsprit, and I'm not paying a monthly slip payment for that bowsprit. I want to have interior cabin space if I'm paying for 5 extra feet each month in my slip. Keep that in mind when you're looking for a boat to put in a slip, and having a boat in the slip is probably the most valuable thing you can do, because some of my best memories are absolutely dockside. Okay, that's gonna do it for ChronicSailor today. Please stay tuned. We will be posting weekly, if not sooner. I want you to have a great day. And as always, ChronicSailor, Tuxedo saying, carry on.